Thanks to the support as a channel member, Harvey2478. This should just be a trophy lifting exercise, boys and girls. We've got our Premier League title decider and the Conference League final. Hopefully, 2 custom Lego trophies in my future. And this is the state of the Premier League going into those final 2 matches. Poor old Blackburn. I know they had 9 points deducted, but even if they'd have kept them, that's pathetic. But they're going to end the season on single figures. Even if they win on the last day, 6 points is what they'll have as a maximum. They could end the season on just 3 points. They are useless. And we've got their goalkeeper on loan. So I don't know how we're on the verge of winning the league, but we are. As you can see, we're 1 point clear of Arsenal. They've only got 1 game left to play. We have 2. If we win this game against Brighton, we win the league. Fail to win, and we do get a second chance on the final day. But we'd obviously quite like to wrap things up right now, because the last day is against Manchester United, and that's likely to be a little bit more difficult. This is the team we're putting out there. We are without our player of the season, the best young player in the world, Mertens. He theoretically could play. He picked up a knock in the Conference League semi-final. We're not going to risk him with the final on the horizon, plus that game against Manchester United. So he's going to start from the bench, which means that Milos Lukic, who we signed in January and haven't used at all, is going to make his debut and potentially win the league in his first match. We've also got Yang returning from injury, and this is the full 11. Can I say his name? Glisovic in goal, a back four of Jaramillo, Lopez, Gomez and De Los Santos. Coppens and Salcedo in midfield, Esqueda, Lukic and Yang behind Cost up front. We just need to win. Win the football match, win the league. It is as easy as that. Brighton are down in lower mid-table, I think, so they are definitely a team we should be capable of beating. Interesting as well, this version of Wimbledon, because I think in real life, they officially have the FA Cup from, was it 1987? I think that was officially moved into their history. But for whatever reason, in Football Manager, it's not. So maybe it wasn't. Surely McDonald's aren't claiming that, are they? But either way, this club has never won a major trophy, according to the in-game trophy thing. They have got a Johnson's Paint trophy and a couple of lower league titles on the way up to the Premier League, but not actually won a major trophy at all. We've got the chance here to win 2, with the first one hopefully being the Premier League. Glisovic just catches that. I love it when a goalkeeper catches the ball. You don't get enough catching in modern football, but it fills the defence with confidence when the goalkeeper, he's comfortable enough in his own ability to just catch it rather than slapping at it or punching it or tipping it around the post. Just catch the football. You've got 2 hands. Catching a ball's not hard. Certainly not for a Premier League goalkeeper. They have massive hands and sticky gloves. They should be able to catch everything that comes near. And that's a good flick on from Lukic. Cost is through on goal. Cost applies the finish on his weak foot. It's a 20th goal of the season for him. He is going to be a superstar. He isn't getting the plaudits he probably deserves because of just how good Mertens is. But those 2 as a partnership, they're going to be Wimbledon and Belgium front 2 for the next 15 years, surely, as both those teams dominate world football. That's got to be the plan, because he's an incredible finisher, as he's just demonstrated there. And Lukic certainly doing his bit with an assist in his first appearance in a Wimbledon shirt. He's been brought in very much to be when Mertens isn't available, he's the backup kind of thing. And if he can step in and be useful like he was there, then he's going to turn out to be a pretty decent signing as well. Exactly what we need as just like a squad player to make up the numbers in these kind of situations. He's actually picked up an injury though, which is ridiculous. I don't want to bring on Mertens unless I absolutely have to. We could perhaps bring on Basinger to play in there. He's quite capable of playing as an attacking midfielder, so we maybe will bring him on. And what we should have on here is the league table. So we can see that as it stands, we are 4 points clear with a game to go. So if it ended like this, we would win the Premier League. Cost receives and turns and releases Yang, who probably isn't going to be able to play the whole match. But I mean, he didn't show any signs of carrying a knock there, bursting past his fullback, forcing the save out of the goalkeeper. And it's a corner that Yang himself will take. And we, of course, have a big queue of meaty boys in the middle. There's one of them. Lukic is another big, tall boy, by the way. I think he's another in the 6'4" club. We had to raise the ceilings at the training ground to fit all these giant boys in. Yang plays it back to Esqueda. Can he find a cross? He plays it all the way across here to Cost, who has another shot this time, can't keep it down, and it goes behind for a goal kick. But we've started very brightly. We are looking good. We just need to do that again. Same again, second 45 minutes, and we win the league with Football Manager on our shirts, which I think is quite appropriate. I don't think I've ever won the league with Wimbledon before. We've got another corner. It's Yang with the in-swinger, and it's Gomez, and it's a 14th goal of the season for him. One of many tall boys who are lurking. We're just so impressive from the set pieces because they're all giants. They're queuing up for it. Lukic was chasing after it as well. We saw how good he is in the air with his flick on for the assist for the first goal. And now we have a big meaty boy with a very important header for the second goal as well. And that should be that. Get the trophy ready because we're getting ready to have a lovely party. Wimbledon are about to win the Premier League. It's ridiculous. We've only been here 2 years. It doesn't even feel that long because of how quickly we've got through the episodes. It's less than 2 weeks in human time since we joined Wimbledon and we're already winning the Premier League with them. What a time to be alive. Girelli's going to come on. We are going to bring on Basinger rather than Mertens. Quite apart from anything else, he's the club captain. We're also going to bring on Herrera to play on the right-hand side. Cost can move out there, actually, and Herrera can go up front. And Lukic gets his little bit of a rest. We have our club captain on the pitch. I don't think he's likely to be captain for much longer. He's potentially for sale this summer. We've got so many good midfielders now. I don't know that we necessarily need to keep him around. Coppins is going to come off. Mialescu is going to come on as another example of a very good midfield player. De Los Santos is going to come off for Rincon as well. And Mertens doesn't need to come on. We need to get the trophy ready. Where is it? I prepared this one earlier. It is a brand new custom version of the Premier League trophy that I am getting ready to lift. We are being a little premature getting it ready now, but we're not messing up from here. There's Basinger, plays it out to Cost, back to Basinger, Calcedo to Girelli, shoots from range. It goes just wide of the post, but it doesn't matter at this point. We've got this wrapped up. I think my maths is right. Villa can't catch us. They're 10 points behind. Arsenal are 4 points behind with only one game to play. And we are about to lift the trophy. Get me a trophy lift. Come on now. Here we go. Wimbledon with Football Manager on the shirts have won the Premier League. Look at the size of Gomez. He is absurdly big. That's why he's scored 14 goals this season. Look at the hair on Palacios as well. Is that Palacios? I thought it was Glizovic today. But I'm sure it's Palacios who has the ridiculous hair. I put the wrong goalkeeper in. There's every chance I have. Let's not worry about it. Let's just lift the trophy. Palacios is an interesting case, by the way, because he's obviously going to go back to Blackburn at the end of this loan with a Premier League winners trophy to play in the Championship for Blackburn next year. And they can't afford to pay his wages because they went into administration, which is why they're in the mess they're in the first place. So it's going to be an interesting one to see where he ends up. Presumably he's not staying there with a Premier League trophy under as well. Cost might be missing the Conference League final, which is a little bit of a shame. Actually, no, he should be all right. We'll play Manchester United off camera and we will be back for hopefully a second trophy lift. But that is a first Premier League in the history of Wimbledon. And there is your final Premier League table showing us as champions. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And we've celebrated by buying a goalkeeper for £70 million. Nikola Drazic will be joining us in the summer from Al-Qadisar. He's a Serbian international. He's 4.5 stars of current ability. He is the best goalkeeper currently available in the world. And he is going to be a Wimbledon player for next season. So that should be that problem solved. We've also got a couple of young defenders coming in. I'll let you meet them in the next episode, which will be for the transfers. We'll take that £3 million, though. That kind of money is always welcome, especially from a man who can play left midfield but not left wing because he's a coward, which means we'll still have £10 million going into the transfer episode with 3 pre-arranged deals already done. But first, let's win the Conference League. We're going with Palacios in goal, a back four of Levent, De Los Santos, Gomez and Rincon, Coppins and Salcedo in midfield, Esqueda, Mertens and Yang behind Herrera up front. This starting striker decision was made easier by Cost picking up an injury on the last day of the season. So he's fit enough to be on the bench, but not fit enough to start. So I don't have to have that awkward conversation with either him or Herrera deciding which one of them gets to start. But fingers crossed, we are good enough to go out there and beat Frankfurt. That's the plan. The selection advice quick pick thing wanted me to put out a rotated squad for this game. That's how confident the AI is that we should be winning. I'm not quite that arrogant to put out a rotated team in a European final, even if it is the Johnson's Paint Trophy of European competitions. But quick pick didn't even want to play Mertens today, which just seems insane when we don't have his backup even in the squad. It would have been Basinger playing there. So yeah, we are trying to take it seriously with a sensible 11. Hopefully they reward me with victory and they don't become overconfident. That might have been why the assistant manager wanted to play a rotated team. Get a bunch of players who are hungry and still good enough to win it and want to win it. Whereas I've put out a bunch of players who've just, they know that this 11 all know they're going to be here next year. They all know they're part of the plan. They all know they're going to be playing in the Champions League next year. Some of the fringies don't have that confidence, but Mertens plays it across to Herrera, who grabs his 23rd goal of the season. Ramiro Herrera. We identified him as an 18-year-old in Argentina, and look at him now scoring in a European final. Lovely stuff. Wouldn't it be nice to partner him with Kurt Villakazi with Unlove on one wing? Just to show that I can pick a young player. But that is a lovely finish. 1-0 to Wimbledon. The Conference League gets a little bit closer to coming home with us, as it should. By the way, this final, I think, is being played at Spurs' ground. I think it's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium before, which, frankly, the home of the Conference League, isn't it? The Tottenham's ground, the home of Thursday night football. There's no more appropriate spot for a Conference League final than Tottenham Stadium. So very happy to not have to have travelled very far to come in. We can go home on the tube afterwards, which is very nice. Coppens, who am I kidding? We're Wimbledon. Of course we can't go home on the tube. We can get most of the way there on the tube, and then we'll have to get a bus the rest of the way once we venture south of the river. That makes very little sense if you're not from the UK, I imagine. There's not very good transport links in South London. That's your context that made that funny. Esqueda with the corner, and Gomes can't make proper contact with it. It's straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, and it remains 1-0 as we hit half time. And we just need to not mess up from here. It's as simple as that. The back four all playing quite well, which is, I mean, they know what the plan is. They know I'm very much looking to replace all of them. Everyone is available to be replaced in that back four. We've got two youngsters coming in. We've already got the new goalkeeper coming in. So what's his face, the German goalkeeper that we spent all that money on in January, and we're paying him like 150 grand a week. He's just going to be our backup, or he's going to have to leave. We went for him because he's all we could afford at the time. He was no better than what we had, and he isn't good enough either. We have struggled with a goalkeeper. That's why we've gone out and spent all that money on one. Just get the business done early in the window. And there's Gomes, 17 for the season now from him. He's good at that goal. We don't really want to replace him, even though he's not good enough to defend in the Champions League. I wouldn't have thought. 17 goals from a centre-back. It's just a handy thing to have in the squad. But fingers crossed we can sign someone just as big and just as good in the air who, might be able to defend as well, which would be a bit of a bonus. Right, I'm not going to bring on Cost. Kasongo can come on. I don't really feel the need to risk him. The Euros are coming up this summer. So after a very busy season for the likes of Mertens and Cost, they are now going off to play for Belgium in the Euros, which, remember, those are players who don't even really get in Belgium's team. They're just squad players for Belgium. So presumably Belgium are going all the way to the final, because if those two aren't good enough to start, then Belgium should win the whole thing. So there's a lot of football still to be played this season for Cost. So he doesn't need to come on. And I think we'll probably take Mertens off in a minute as well. We don't want him to pick up any knocks. Although if he picked up enough of a knock to get him withdrawn from the squad for the Euros and then spend all summer getting fit, I could get on board with that. But I'm not that much of a monster. There you go. Final couple of changes. Basinger and Mialescu come on. And I mean, this has been relatively comfortable. Fingers crossed. I am touching the custom Lego Conference League trophy, which we'll be lifting in a moment, that I have custom built just for this purpose. And we should get our second trophy lift of the episode. Unless... No, we should get our second trophy. Hang on. We should, unless... I mean, the timing here is all wrong. Disallow that, referee. There's still 2 minutes of added time to play after this as well, and we've taken off most of our goal threat. So this is not ideal. This is a little bit of a risky final couple of minutes. Oh my word. I'm not touching the trophy anymore. My hands are in the air. They've hit the post. Oh my word. This is getting tense all of a sudden. Are we actually going to bottle this? Kasongo, the homegrown boy, he's one of our own. He lumps it clear, and that should be the clearance that wins us the Conference League. There you have it, boys and girls. We have our second trophy lift, the special UEFA trophy lift as well. Isn't it pretty? We get to see the Football Manager logo in all its glory from this angle. And has he got to walk all the way over there with the trophy? This is such a dumb way to do trophy lifts because he's now holding it. Let him lift it where it's handed to him. They don't even on the animation show the long walk because the long walk's so dumb. But there you go. We have our trophy lift, our second one of the episode, our first UEFA trophy of the Pentagon. We have one more trophy to lift, which I think would be my 20th trophy of the save, because earlier this season it mentioned I'd won 17 trophies. We've now added 2 more, so trophy number 20, fingers crossed, the Champions League, and with it the end of the Pentagon, unless we decide to go and win the Club World Cup afterwards, which we might have to unless they release FM26 like early August, which is looking unlikely at the moment, isn't it? Fingers crossed. I'm recording this 3 days early. Fingers crossed they've announced that it's coming out tomorrow, and I'll have something to pick up after we've won that Champions League. But I might be clutching at straws a little bit there. But tomorrow, or whenever the next episode is, I think it's tomorrow. Recording early confuses me. But yeah, next episode we will have our Champions League winning transfer window is what we're going to call it. We're going to try and win it next year. We might not be able to. We are going to win it soon, though. I've decided. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much to all of the awesome Patreon backers. And thank you very much for watching.